You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-Mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 2nd day of September, 2022. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every day. The first one is private for members only and those taking the 1-week free trial. That is our live training room. That is where we teach you how to trade E-mini futures and other markets. 2 hours a day, every trading day, from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. If you've not taken a free trial, you can do so by going to mytradingiq.com. Just click that big button at the top there, and it will give you 5 days in our live training room, access to our platform, our indicators, everything that we offer. You'll understand who we are, what we do, how we do it, why we do it. So, buckle up. It'll be a great 5 days. Now, our afternoon broadcast, this one here, is open to the public. Now, there's 2 ways to join the afternoon broadcast. One a little better than the other. I'll give you the better way first. When you're on that page, mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click that. It will take you to a registration page. It will take you all of 30 seconds to fill it out. Once you're done, every trading day going forward, you'll get an email right before the broadcast starts. In the email, there's a link. All you have to do is click the link, and it automatically logs you in. Now, the reason I say that's the better way is because it gives you access to the question box so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. The other way to join the afternoon broadcast live is to grab any internet-connected device, your phone, your tablet, a PC, a Mac. Open the browser and send it to youtube.com/CFRN. Easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we simulcast the show, broadcasting both on our go-to platform and live on YouTube at the same time, we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,000 daily live broadcasts archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. It's especially helpful for those who are new to the world of CFRN because you can go back 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, more. Pick a day at random. And pretty soon you'll get a quick feel for who we are, what we do, how we do it, and even why we do it. youtube.com/CFRN. With that said, let's open with a word of prayer. Now, we've got a holiday weekend. No secret, everybody knows Labor Day is being celebrated Monday, and most people will have the day off. The markets will be closed, and we will not be doing a live training room on Monday, nor will we be doing an afternoon broadcast. However, Labor Day is only celebrated in the U.S., so the global markets will be open. So Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, Globex will open as normal. I will issue Logic 247 alerts, concierge trade alerts, And then that will be it until the Monday session ends at 5 p.m. Eastern, and the Tuesday session begins Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when the CTAs will go out again and the logic alerts will start to flow. Now, you probably have plans for the weekend, whether you're going to a party or a barbecue, whether it's with friends or family or co-workers. There'll be a lot of backslapping and high-fiving and maybe even some fireworks. And in the midst of all that, you will feel alone. Psalm 25:16 says, "Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted." Loneliness can feel like the worst thing in the world. And it is something we all, at one time or another, will endure. Loneliness can manifest itself in a variety of ways. Someone can be surrounded by crowds of people or with their family and friends and still feel lonely. The reasons can be numerous, whether they feel like they don't belong in that group, or maybe they're going through a season of change where they feel the people around them won't or can't understand. Or loneliness is when we are physically alone and no one is around us. Some people find themselves isolated through no fault of their own. Now, loneliness is a tricky emotion. On the one hand, what you feel is totally validated. But we cannot let what we feel at any given moment in time rule our lives. If we chased every feeling we had, we would not only become an emotional train wreck, but possibly even a physical train wreck. No one can take away our feelings. On the other hand, loneliness, if left to fester, can lead to false ideations and actions that can be harmful. Loneliness can also cause us to bottle up what we are feeling. The lie that this feeling tells is that no one knows but us what we're going through and that no one else could ever understand. But when we have the courage to reach out to others, we will certainly find that we are not alone in our feelings. There's always someone else that feels the exact same way. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Throughout Scripture, God promises that He is with us. We do not have to be afraid or feel hopeless. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, some of us are feeling lonely today and will feel lonely this weekend in the midst of people. When we're feeling hopeless, alone, and scared, we feel like there's no one to talk to about this. We feel like the only person in the world who feels like this. We don't know any other way to feel. Lord, I pray for everyone that experiences that. Be with them. We know your promise that you will never leave us, that you will strengthen us. Today, God, I pray that you'll surround everyone who's experiencing this feeling, this emotion, with your peace and with your spirit. I pray for the strength to open up to my loved ones about how I feel. I encourage you to find a support group with people who are going through the same thing. Lord, I pray that you would relieve this feeling from anyone who is affected by it. We pray for those who don't feel like they can open up to those around them, who feel like they won't be understood or can't be themselves. Lord, we pray for those who feel like something is missing in their life, that the world is revealing that they are the only ones to not be married, to not have children, to not have a dream job. God, thank you for your overwhelming presence in our lives. All we have to do is invite you in. Thank you for your peace and your understanding. Thank you for providing us with your Spirit who will indwell in us until we see you face to face. Thank you for giving us friends and family who will love and support us. Thank you for giving us the courage to seek comfort in our loneliness when the enemy tries to deceive us that it's not possible, that all is lost. So we thank you for your truth, the eternal truth. We love and trust you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody said amen. All right, let me give you the numbers from around the world. We'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices, as they're called. If I can get my page to load. Where'd my page go? There it is. All right. Currently, the Dow is up 300 points, almost 1%. NASDAQ up 106, almost 1%. S&P 500 up 42, a little over 1%. And the Russell 2000 up 23 points, which is over 1.25%. And it's also what I call a bull leg in a downtrend. I may end up not being correct, but we'll see what happens Sunday night and Monday with the U.S. markets closed, and then as Wall Street opens on Tuesday, we'll get a good read. And when we go to the daily chart, I'll show you the point where we expect the market to turn. Crude oil is up $1.86, trading 88.47 last. That's a gain of 2%. Gold up $18.30, trading 17.2760 last. That's a gain of a little over 1%. Silver up 42 cents, trading 18.09 last. That's a gain of 2.5%. Now, when you're trading silver futures and the price of silver moves $1, it has a value of $5,000, profit or loss, depending upon which side of the trade you're on. And so we're up 42 cents, so that's almost $2,500 per contract traded. In the Asian markets, at the close, Nikkei down 10 points, Shanghai up 1.5 points, the Hang Seng down 145. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 132 points, which for the FTSE is almost 2%. The DAX posted a gain of 420 points. That's over 3%. And the CAC up 133 points, 2.25%. So we had a mixed day in Asia because the Shanghai gained 1.5 points. But it was a solid green day for the UK. And so far, it is a big green Radio Friday here in the US of A. Let's go to Michael and get a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. Then I'll be back. We'll look at the logic alerts, the concierge trade alerts. At any point during the broadcast, if you have a question, type it in the question box. We'll be happy to answer it for you. Michael, I can see your charts, see your screens.
Okay.
So you've got it.
All right, here we go then. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Today is the second day of September 2022. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us yet and you want to, go here to My Trading IQ, and right here it says grab a seat for 5 days of trading and trading. Click on that. All right. Once you do that, you'll be sent all the information you need to get into the free trial. Now, the trial runs 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. We are not going to be doing it on Monday, but it runs 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. There's a holiday Monday. That's why we're not doing it. For all you guys that are overseas, the U.S. has a holiday on Monday. If you do sign up for the trial, you should go here, download the platform, whatever platform applies to you. If none of those platforms do apply to you, you got to download one of them and just let us know which one it is, and we'll get you set up so you have the stuff running on your desktop. Okay, the one that I use is DT Pro in there. All right, you should download the trade handout. It's got all the rules for the trades. It's just a couple of steps. It's got both steps for the trades and all the detail that you need. You can watch the videos to see how all that stuff is applied using the DT Pro platform. You should do all that whenever you take the trial, okay? I want it to be worth it for you. So, all right, so today, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the second day of September 2022. We made 40 ticks in the Russell. We made two trades in crude. We made 0 ticks. One was a -10 and one was a +10. But my chart wasn't keeping up, so I just switched to the Russell today, and I traded the Russell in the room. And so we made 40 ticks in the Russell, 0 ticks in crude, 14 ticks in gold, and 67 ticks on the ES. That put us at 177.5 on the morning session. Today it took 3 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $125 a contract, and we took a total of 36 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $2,230 a contract. That's over 2 trading days, averaging $1,115 per contract per 2-hour trading day. On the year now, we've gotten our goal on 168 out of 168 business days, and we've gone 229 days now since our last negative day. Those are business days. All right, on the year now, we're at $174,496. That is 1 contract, 2 hours per day. We're averaging $1,038 per contract per 2-hour business day. Okay, now if you were to quit trading when you got your goal for the day, and your goal was just $100 profit per contract, and you added 1 contract per month, so far this year you would have only had to work 28.18 hours, and you would have averaged $3,690 per hour. Okay, all right, let's get into what we did. Now I'll start out with gold. We didn't have much on gold. Gold was really good today. If you were paying attention to it, it was really good. It did have 1 stop out, it looks like, this first one. Oh, yeah, let me just do this. It wasn't the very first one. Okay, it had a trade in here. It was red off of red, would have been a break even. Had a trade in here. It was a trend line trade, would have given you some profit. Didn't have a trade there. Did have a trade here. This one would have stopped you out. This one would have been a break even, red off of red, maybe a little profit. This was blue off of blue, potential profit. This was blue off of blue, definite profit. This was trend line, definite profit. This one we actually finally took. And on our first trade on gold, we picked up 4 ticks. Then we had a break even there. This was red off of red. We took that, ended up with 10 ticks profit. And then as it slowly ratcheted down here, we were able to see everything that we thought it was going to do on the way down. And it was doing everything up until this was right at the end of the room right here. It was doing really well, hitting all the numbers that it was given. It was just doing it really, really slow. This was the pullback number that I could see at the time. It did pull back through that, and now it's back over here. If we get an up close on this bar, it would be a long trade right now. Okay. All right. That was gold. Now the Russell. We had a bunch of trades on the Russell today. I substituted the Russell for the crude oil because, well, crude wasn't keeping up. So I didn't do it right here at the beginning with the Russell. I wish we would have, because there was some great trades right here at the very beginning with the Russell. But once we started in, we were over here. We had a break even on the first trade, +5 on the second trade, +5 on the third trade, +5 on the fourth trade. That got us up to 15. Then we stopped out, put us back down to 5. Then we had 3, got us up to 8. Then we missed a trade, missed a bunch of trades right through there and there. Then we got a moment in time right here. And I was saying in the moment in time that I thought it was going to pull back and then move up. It pulled back. Now this should have been an entry in a trade right here during the moment in time. It would have stopped you out on that first one, but then you could have gotten it back there and there and there over and over again. But right through here, this is where I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to go up, pull back, and go up again. It ended up pulling back a little deeper than I thought, then just ran straight up to that number that I was showing. Then it gave a pullback right here, and you would have had your second entry right here, third, fourth entries, and then it went on and on, fifth, sixth, seventh entries. Every one of those would have been winning trades. Now the next one that we actually got into, we were at 14 ticks right here. We had a break even, then we had a +10 that got us to 24. Another +10 got us to 34. Then we had a +4, it got us to 38. Then a +6, it got us to 44. We had a break even, a +6 got us to 44. Then we had something there that I didn't keep track of, and then we had a -10 that got us back down to 34, and a +6 that got us to 40, and that was where we ended on the morning session. So there was like a +10 right there that I didn't log. But I was thinking during the break that it was going to open up and put in new highs on the day, and I believe that this right here was a new high. Yeah, it was. This right here was a new high on the day. It failed off the new high of the day, and when I get to the ES, I'll show you what I was thinking about that too. But during the break, just read off a red and blew off a blue. We had a blue off a blue right here that would have been a break even. Red off a red there and there. Both would have been in the same trade, profitable. And that was it for the Russell. So the Russell had plenty of activity, plenty of opportunity. It was a big day on the Russell. The crude, we just had a couple of trades on the crude there at the beginning. And then I had my first trade on crude was right here. I stopped out. My next trade on crude was right here. I got it back. So it was -10 and +10, put us at 0. And then it wasn't keeping up. It did eventually catch up, but I hadn't looked at it because the Russell was giving me so much activity that I didn't really need to look at the crude. And I might just substitute the Russell. I mean, the thing about the Russell is the ES and the Russell will give them pretty close to the same trades. And so we have just about the same number of trades between the two of them. We actually do have the same number of trades between the two of them. But they weren't exactly the same places because I started with the ES earlier. But we'll go here. Hang on a second. Let me open up the question box and see if anybody's, no, okay, nobody's sent in any questions. All right, so I'm scrolling back. Here we go. All right, so my first trade here on the ES, we picked up 4 ticks. Then I had a break even. Then we had a +6. That's where we got the goal for the day. We're at +10 at that point, so we're at 125. I did write that down, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, and in here, those 3 trades, +10, 125. This was a blue off a blue here. We picked up 4 ticks there to get us to 14, 2 ticks here to get us to 16. Then somewhere in here, we went from 16 we stopped out in here somewhere. There's a stop out because we went from 16 down to 6, then we went to 14. So I think that this right in here, I don't know, we went from 6 to 14. That's probably the +8 right in there. And there was someplace in here that we stopped out that I didn't put on this, but I did put in the log. So we went to -6, then went back to 14, and then went from 14 to 30 right here. We picked up whatever that was, 26 ticks or something like that, to get to 30 right there. And then the next one, we picked up 12 ticks to get to 42. Then we picked up another 12 ticks. This was the moment in time. We didn't do anything in here. During the moment in time, we hadn't had the trade yet, but I was saying if we did get what I was thinking we were going to get, we should pull back down here, test this, and then run up to this level up here is what I was seeing. I was looking left to get that level over here. And it did do all of that during the moment in time. So all of this that happened in here, I wasn't watching. But this one right here, we went from 30 to 42, and then 42 to 54. Okay, so this I think is where we went to 54. And then now we went 54 to 73. So we had a break even there. 54 to 73 was right there. Then we went from 73 to 77 right in there. Then we stopped out, went down to 67 right there. Okay, we had a break even, and that is where we ended the trading for the morning. Okay, so if we just do blue off a blue and red off a red during the break, there was red off a red right here. That was it. There were some trend trades in here. And some other awesome looking trades as well. So there was a ton of opportunity today. Between all the markets, there was a ton of opportunity. Going into the long weekend, this is the kind of day you want to have. Be happy all weekend. All right. So here we go into here now. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the second day of September 2022. 40 ticks on Russell, 0 ticks on crude, 14 ticks on gold, and 67 on the ES. Put us up at $1,177 on the morning session. Today it took 3 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. We closed out that trade. We're at $125 a contract, and we took a total of 36 trades this morning. That's again. All right. So on the month now, we're at $2,230 a contract. We're 2 days into the month. So we're averaging $1,115 per contract per 2-hour business day. On the year, we've gotten our goal on 168 out of 168 days so far this year. So every day so far this year, we've gotten our goal. And we've now gone 229 days since our last negative day. All right. So that puts us at $174,496 on the year, averaging $1,038 per contract per 2-hour business day. All right. Now, if you were to quit trading when you got your goal for the day every day, and your goal was just to make $100 profit, gross profit per contract, so far this year you would have only had to work 28.18 hours, and you would have averaged $3,690 per hour for those 28.18 hours. But you don't have that many full 1-hour days. You have a lot of 3-minute days and 7-minute days, or 3-minute days and 19-minute days, and 1 minute, 2 minute, 4 minute, 31 minute, 2 minute, 10 minute, 3 minute, 6 minute. You end up with a lot of days like that. All right. That's where we want to be, really. You don't want to sit at your desk trading all day long. You want to get in, sit down, play some good winning trades, and be done. All right. So if you've not taken a free trial, go here to mytradingiq.com right here. Grab a seat for 5 days of training and trading. Click on that. Fill out the form and be sent the confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, or we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to do all that. Now, when you're doing all that, you should go here, download the platform, download the trade handout, watch the videos, do all that stuff. Get the most out of your trial. Okay. All right. That's it. Wow, that seemed pretty fast. Well, either way, I'm going to pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. There it is. Dwayne is ready.
Recap of the recap.
Today, Dwayne, it took 3 minutes and 3 trades to get to $125 per contract.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Here we go. So far this week in Logic 247, which is our 24/7 around the clock E-mini alert service, which includes crude, gold, silver, the euro, and bonds. Markets open Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when the alert channel opens, and it stays open around the clock until Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. Since the market opened Sunday night, we've issued a total of 58 alerts, 7 never triggered. Still awaiting the outcome of 6. So we've had 45 actionable alerts, of which 6 or 13% would have been stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible, based on market structure and a very simple 3-step process that we teach all of our passport holders. And if you want to grab your lifetime passport, it never expires. There's no upsells, no gotchas. You buy it right here at eminifuturestrading.com. That's lifetime access to everything we do, everything we've ever done, and whatever we do in the future. Now, over the last 213 weeks, we've issued over 11,600 individual alerts, all trend trades based on the 30-minute chart and the BBC. An average week, we'll see 20% get stopped out. Last few weeks have been kind in that regard. We've been under that 20% benchmark, but over 213 weeks, 11,600 plus individual alerts, that's the average. Now, the logic alerts are based on current price action, and as I said, they can come out at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. We have traders around the globe, so our day session is their night session and vice versa. Our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts, those are a little bit different. Different how? Number one, they are published as a static report shortly after the Globex open, providing forward guidance for the entire session. Once an alert triggers, logic or CTA, there's a greater probability of it triggering multiple times than not triggering multiple times. When the report is published, whatever markets you don't trade them all, I'm sure, but whatever markets you do trade, at this point in time, which would have been 6:10 p.m. last night, you go to the charts of the markets you do trade and make note of where price is at that moment in time. And then using the ES as an example, you would go and draw a line in the sand on your 30-minute chart at 39.77, and you would draw a line in the sand at 39.19. Now from this moment forward, if price starts trending up towards 39.77, that's bullish. Our strategy will look for opportunities to be long the market. On the other hand, if price starts trending down towards 39.19, that's bearish, and our strategy will look for opportunities to be short the market. In either case, that's where you use Logic 247 and everything you learn in the live training room every single day to yourself find opportunities to be long or short the market. Our goal is to get you to the point where you don't need anyone to tell you when to get in or when to get out. We want you to become a self-sufficient trader. Now, the passport's for life, and so we want you to be a lifetime member of the community. It's really more of a family than a community. However, once you become self-sufficient, then you stay a part of the family so that you can help the next new guy that comes along. To whom much is given, much is required. So if you want to grab a screenshot, go ahead. We'll walk through each one of the individual markets. Got it? Okay. All right, we'll start with the daily chart where we always start, and where I recommend you start every trading session, no matter what market you trade. The institutions, the hedge funds, the Goldman Sachs of the world, they look at daily and weekly and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts and 5-minute charts and tick charts and range charts. Why? Well, it has a whole lot to do with account size. Now, after we failed to break loose from this triple top, which we expected to be resistance, we took it out by a couple ticks, maybe even a couple points, but we're always very suspicious of that type of move. So it was no surprise to see price come back down to the VVC, to the 50% reverse fib, consolidate, and then we ran back to the top of the area highlighted by the rectangle, ran into red and falling, which is bearish, and it has escorted us down almost to the 24% reverse fib. So what we're seeing right now is an up leg in a bear trend. We touched the 38% reverse fib today, and we've already come off of it quite significantly. So be prepared if you're trading Sunday night for a continued move down to that 24% reverse fib. The only obstacle in your path, and we talked about how this low would be an obstacle. We overshot it by just a little bit. So everything's unfolding according to the script as we've explained it every day for about 3 weeks now or more, probably a couple months. So, literally since this high was put in back on March 29th and this low was put in on June 17th. Things have unfolded in a logical manner, and that's typically how markets work. So support is the low of today, then the low of yesterday, and then the 24% reverse fib, which happens to line up with the most recent bullish cross on the daily chart. When you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, whether it's on a 30-minute chart or daily chart, the first time price revisits that area, you should expect it to be good support. So taking out today's low would take us to yesterday's low, and then support at the 24% reverse fib, which should be good for a bounce. And then most likely we continue lower, as the market seems to be continuing lower here. We talked yesterday about red and falling overhead and the step line both being potential resistance. That's exactly what they've been. Price did spike up off the news and hit that 38% reverse fib, which coming down was support for a nice bounce, and then a continuation down. What was support now becomes resistance. That concept, it's nothing new. It's just how markets work. And when you understand the fundamentals of how markets work, you don't have to confuse the issue with a million different indicators and oscillators and all these urban myths that people like to spout and how they're going to run your stops and just all of that nonsense. Get that out of your head. If you have baggage, and most of us do accumulate baggage when we try to learn how to trade. If you've ended up on our doorstep, that means the stuff in your suitcase didn't work. It did not make you a profitable trader. So take your baggage out back, set it on fire, burn it, come back with a clean slate and fresh eyes, and just simply focus on the underlying principle upon which markets operate. On every market, on every time frame, price flows from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It is a never-ending cycle. That alone right there will make up for 10,000 indicators and oscillators. You don't need, I won't even go there. The weekly trading zones for our futures traders are fixed support and resistance for the entire week. They're published every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. We've published them for our members since December 14th of 2009. The few indicators that we use help you see the dynamic support and resistance. And so once you understand that simple concept, you just, all that other stuff is just clutter and confusion. Now, I'm not saying all these other indicators don't do what they were created to do. I'm sure they do. But that doesn't change the fact that price is going to rally until it runs into resistance. Why was 40.19 and a quarter the high of the day? Because nobody was willing to pay 40.19 half. It's that simple. If you want to make it more complicated than that, you can. But I encourage you to see the elegant simplicity of how price flows. And stop relying on all of these things that, some days they work and some days they don't work. The market works every day. So once you understand how the market works, you're not trying to beat the market or outsmart the market. You just are doing what the market is doing, because the market is always right. When you think it can't go higher, it does. When you think it can't go lower, it does. But the market is always right. So if you can understand what the market is doing, what its objective is, where it's trying to go, then you just simply trade with the wind at your back. Makes life a lot simpler. 30-minute chart of the S&P. All alerts are based on the 30-minute chart. Now, the vertical line that you see here separates today, Friday, from yesterday, Thursday. Here's where the market opened. We pull back to the VBC once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The pullback to the VBC holds 5 times, more often than it doesn't. Now we know eventually the pullback won't hold and we'll be trading in the other direction. From 39.77 we traded up to the target, from the published entry to the published target, 39.89. That's 12 points, $50 a point, $600 per contract traded. Price then got back below the trigger and ran all the way up. It ran up the same $600, but then it continued on up all the way to what we talked about earlier, for 40.19 and a quarter. Why 40.19 and a quarter? Because no one was willing to pay 40.19 half. Price is now dipping back below, or about to, the CTA long, but the BBC is now above the CTA, so we only short when price is below the CTA, and we go long when it's above, or I'm sorry, short below the BBC, long above the BBC. It's that simple. If price is above the BBC, you should be looking for long opportunities. Okay? And there you had them again and again and again and again and again. Plenty of opportunity to get your goal for the day before price even got to the trigger. So when the next candle starts to print, if it's green, then that would not be a valid trade because you would be going along. It would be a counter trend trade. And you're welcome to do counter trend trading, but the 11,600 plus individual alerts in the alert channel are all trend trades. Once you become an experienced trader, you're consistently profitable. If you want to trade counter trend, by all means, go right ahead. But when you're learning to trade, the best thing you can do is have the wind at your back. Okay? And that's starting to look like the high of the day. But the day's not over yet, so we'll see. Now, yesterday's low. Today's low is 39.55. So a break of that should take us down to 39.03. And then, not saying it'll all happen today, but it certainly looks like it's beginning to. Okay? Don't allow yourself to get tunnel vision just looking at a tick chart or a range chart or 1 minute chart or 5 minute chart. Understand what's happening in the bigger picture, and then just jump on the train and go along for the ride. Long enough to get your goal for the day, and then go do life. Like Michael said, you don't want to spend your whole life staring at charts. God didn't create you for that. Now, He may have put trading in your path as a vehicle to fund whatever ministry you're involved in, because ministry costs money. Whether you're called to build churches or orphanages or feed the hungry, clothe the naked, house the homeless, that costs real money. And so don't let your vision get clouded by the trading part. Use the trading part simply to earn the money to do the things that God created you to do. We have a very unique opportunity that no one in history has ever had before. The wealth of the world is on the other side of your monitor. All you got to do is learn to reach in there and grab your share. You don't have to worry about, will the market open tomorrow? Will the employees show up to work? Are we low on inventory? All those problems, anyone who's ever run a business before and had employees, you know the headaches. Trading individual stocks. Handicapping a basket of stocks every night. That headache is gone. The next article I publish will probably be the rise and fall of trading individual stocks. The fact that brokers will now allow you to trade commission-free when it used to cost a fortune is an indication that they're hurting. People often compete by trying to lower their price, and then this guy lowers his price, and then this guy lowers his price. It's called a race to the bottom, and that's never a good thing. And the race to the bottom is already hit free. So, anyway, back to the 30-minute chart. Triggered and hit the target, triggered and hit the target, and now the BBC itself is above the actual trigger. So if the next candle starts to print green on the 30-minute chart, just know that would be a counter trend trade. On the Dow, here's where we opened last night. The trigger was 31,695, and this first little move got rejected. It ran all the way up to 703, which is 40 bucks. And then we trigger, and we run up to 31,710. That's 15 points or $5 a point. Then we get back below the trigger, and we run all the way to the target, which is 65 points at $5 a point. Now we kept going. But you should have been expecting this area to be resistance and this area to be resistance. We spiked it a little bit off the news, but now look what's happened. And the same thing, the BBC is now above the trigger. Okay. On the open, price pull back to the BBC, pull back again, and pull back again. And then up here, it pulled back again. Can't say it enough. The pullback holds more often than it doesn't. Once you embrace that, it will take the fear out of trading. Now, remember, of the 11,600 plus individual alerts in the Logic 247 alert channel, all of those are trend trades. However, 20% on average were stopped out based on that $300 risk profile that I explained earlier, and that we teach all of our passport holders. It's simply based on market structure. It's really based on logic. Okay, that's why it's called Logic 247, because it's applying logic to the markets around the clock, 24/7. Okay, we made a run all the way up to 32,029. Now, once price spiked the weekly zone, what did it do? It came right back to the zone and then continued in the direction of the slice. Only three things happen at a weekly trading zone. The most common is consolidation. That's what you'll see 70-75% of the time. 20 to 25% of the time you'll see this rejection. Okay, see how when this candle closed, the only thing left touching the zone was the wick. So price got rejected. And then the third and least likely is the slice. It's usually on a news-driven event. Price slices through it, comes right back to the zone it sliced through, and then continues in the direction of the slice. That's a picture-perfect example. Only three things: consolidation, rejection, the slice. Once you understand that and learn how to apply it to the weekly trading zones, which come out for our members every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, it will indeed make your life more simple. Okay, S&P Dow, Russell. We opened, we pulled back to the BBC, and we pulled back, and we pulled back, and we pulled back. And then we triggered and ran straight to the target from 29 to 36. 7 points, $350 per contract traded. These highs are a reflection of this, and this right here. The BBC has gotten above the CTA long. Price is dropping. If this swing low is taken out, now this bullish cross, okay, didn't lead to a big extended move, but it led to an extended move. When price revisited the area, it was support. Support. If this low is taken out this time, then you're looking to trade short down to the CTA trigger and beyond. If the CTA short triggers, then you should expect support at this swing low, and then at these 1, 2, 3 candle swing lows. Trading's not easy, but it can be simple. On the NQ, we ran right up last night to the trigger and got rejected. Pulled back to the BBC. The pullback held, and it held. And we overshot it a little bit here. The NQ is very volatile. So then we get back above the BBC, the pullback holds, and we trigger and we run straight to the target. From 21 to 47, that's 16 points. There's a 26. I once had a calculator. $26 points at $20 a point. It's $520 per contract traded. And then price got back below the trigger and did it again. And now we're heading for this area right here. See the bullish cross? You should expect that to be support, possibly even good enough for a bounce. And then that, once price gets through that area, and from 56 down to 26, that's 30 points at $20 a point, $600 per contract traded. Crude oil. Market opened last night below the BBC. We were consolidating at the weekly zone, and we went from zone to zone. And now we may be headed back to the zone. Got a bullish cross here. Watch for support in that area around 87.16. So we triggered and we made a run up to 87.84. It's $140 per contract traded. And back below, actually there was one here. That was 60 bucks. And then 140 bucks. And then 180 bucks. And then back below the trigger again. So you had 1, 2, 3. This was your fourth trigger, which in the initial move up took you to 88.49, which is about $700 per contract traded. And then we pull back to the BBC from 87.70 to 88.70. That's $1,000 per contract traded. And then we dip back below the trigger. Up we go again. And now we're dipping back below the trigger. But again, the BBC has gotten above the long CTA. So a long trade at this point would be a counter trend trade. Again, nothing wrong with a counter trend trade as long as you understand you're trading against the trend. On gold, the trigger was 1712. We had a bullish cross right here. And the first trigger took us up to 1714.20, $220 per contract traded. Then back below the trigger. And then we ran all the way up to 1729. $1,700 per contract traded. And we haven't quite made it to the target yet, which is 1732. On every long alert, the final trade to target is always the weekly zone above. On a short, the weekly zone below. Now notice how yesterday, Thursday, reacted to the zone that was published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once the zones are published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. We don't change them, massage them, manipulate them in any way whatsoever. You and your strategy have to become the constant integer in the equation. If you find yourself changing your swing every time you step up to the plate, that's a huge part of the problem right there. Nip it in the bud. Silver, 2 pennies is $100. So we trigger and we run up to 1784. It's about $1,500 per contract traded. And then back below the trigger, pull back to the BBC, and then move up to 1806. That's about $3 grand. And then pull back below the trigger and move up to 1815. So 45 and 15, 60, $3,500 per contract traded, roughly. I'm not doing the math on a calculator, but you can. Where's price headed? To the BBC. What do we expect to happen? Well, the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. Held here and here and here and here and here. But remember, we know eventually the pullback won't hold and we'll find ourselves trading in the opposite direction. That's why there's 2 numbers every night. Notice yesterday how silver just consolidated the whole session. It spiked it a few times, but it just consolidated along that weekly trading zone at 1753/54. If the pullback holds, then we have another nice trade on tap up to these swing highs. This high here, you'd expect that to be resistance. It was. And you got a bearish cross right at the target. So if this pullback holds, and you'll know it's holding because after you touch it, you'll start printing green candles. That's when you go to your smaller time frame and use the setup that you're taught in the live training room every single day to be long or short the market. Trade what's in front of you. On the euro, 915 was the trigger. We opened down here, caught a bullish cross, and that bullish cross led to support right here. Now we're going to come at it a second time. We'll see if we get through it or not. From 915, the first trigger took us up to 0055. Pull back to the BBC. The pullback held. This one held, this one held, this one held, this one held. And this one took us right to the target at 135. And then we dip back below the trigger, run to the target again. And now we've got the BBC, just like all the other markets, above the CTA long. So if we move back up, just understand that if you go long, you're taking a counter trend trade. And you're better off trading with the trend. And right now, with price below the BBC, you should be looking for shorting opportunities once we get below this area right here. Potential support here, target here. And the final market, bonds, which didn't do anything, but struggles sideways. But I'm going to drag the chart up anyway, just to show you. Sideways. Didn't trigger on the short side, didn't trigger on the long side. Just some sideways consolidation. Which brings us back to the daily chart. And if you're surprised to now see a red candle here, you shouldn't be. Remember, break of today's low takes us to support at yesterday's low. Break of yesterday's low takes us to the 24% reverse fib. A bull leg in a downtrend. Still on target for the 24% reverse fib. Again, to become a member of the family, go here, eminifuturestrading.com. Lifetime access to everything we do, everything we've ever done, and whatever we do in the future. There's no upsells, no recurring fees, no gotchas, no new shiny objects to buy every other week. 9 out of 10 traders fail because they don't have someone to teach them how to trade. Imagine trying to become an electrician with no one to teach you how to be an electrician. It would be a very shocking experience. Hope you survive it. Same is true of becoming a plumber or an attorney, an airline pilot, you name it. Even accountants. Not knocking accountants, I'm just saying. Somebody has to teach you how to do the job. Yet 9 out of 10 traders attempt to become traders without someone to teach them how to trade. Well, I went to this 3-day seminar in Vegas. That's not a teacher. That's a huckster. Separating you from your hard-earned money. We put a live teacher in front of you 2 hours a day, every trading day, Monday through Friday. Now, if 9 out of 10 fail, simple math says 1 out of 10 succeed. In order to have a shot at becoming the 1 out of 10, you're going to need a teacher. Not only do we give you a live teacher 2 hours a day every trading day, you have access to unlimited one-on-one mentoring. You're not going to find this anywhere else. The methodology and strategy we teach you works with futures, stocks, crypto, and Forex. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Our indicators, fluid across every market and every time frame. You won't find that anywhere else. The Logic 247 alerts, the Concierge Trade alerts, the Thursday night workshops. It truly is everything a trader needs at one low price, all under one roof. How many things have you bought? How much time and treasure have you spent? How much time and treasure do you have left? Instead of chasing parlor tricks, magic acts, circus acts, why not just burn all that baggage, start with fresh eyes, a clean slate, and actually learn how to trade? That's what we offer. Let's wrap up this week and head into the holiday weekend with our good word for the day. Yesterday we talked about starting your day right. And then my notes catch up. All right, here we go. Matthew 18:18. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. You may have wondered, you've probably heard that, but you wondered, what in the heck does that mean? God told Joshua in Joshua 8:18, stretch out the spear that is in your hand toward Ai, a false god, Ai, for I will give it into your hand. It's amazing how courageous you feel when God is backing you up. When you know He is on your side, you can say, no weapon that is formed against me will prevail. That's Isaiah 54:17. But overconfidence is self-confidence that's not based on God confidence. Our problem is we plan, say, and do things without first checking to find out if God is behind us. Do you remember what the evil spirit said to those trying to mimic Paul's ministry when they weren't empowered by God's Spirit? In Acts 19:15 we read, Jesus I know and Paul I know. But who are you? When you're under attack, you need to know that number one, you're in right standing with God. See Corinthians 2:5-19. Number two, it's God's fight as well as yours. 2 Chronicles 10:15. And whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. There must be agreement in both realms. If it's not approved where God is, it won't be approved where you are. Your confidence comes from knowing you're operating in His will. The Bible calls us laborers together with God. 1 Corinthians 3:9. So you can't go off and do your own thing. Don't try moving any mountain the Lord doesn't want moved, or raising anybody from the dead, except the Lazarus He calls forth. We do on earth only what He has declared to be His will in heaven. And as a result, He backs us up. Hope you all have a great holiday weekend. If you find yourself standing in the middle of a crowd, but yet you feel isolated and alone, it's a good time to talk to God. Talk to Him about His will for your life. And when you share your feelings and your emotions with another person, don't let it be your drunken brother-in-law, okay? Let it be someone in their right mind that you can trust. That's our good word for the week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell. Remember, we're off Monday, but there will be alerts Sunday night.
Remember this, There is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.